So you guys asked for it. We're starting to do a little bit of a viewer requested video series every once in a while. So
within reason.
Yeah, within reason. So one thing you guys asked for is what we bring for tools to an event. Now we've brought tools in different ways before, but we actually decided that we were going to try and actually collect them and try to make it a little more professional. So we went out and bought a little mobile toolkit, and we filled it with some of the things that we thought we would have to bring. And by we, I mean me, because I have the Can-Am and Cass has the Yamaha that never breaks. So yeah, we're gonna check that out today, and
yeah.
I guess that's all there is to it, eh?
Let's
no
get
point,
into it.
no point making a big show of it. It's just a box with some tools in it, but it's some stuff that we've considered to bring to trails, and it's going to evolve over time, and going to have some different stuff in it. So let's check that out. So Cass wanted to do a joke, okay, where we open the toolbox and there's something stupid in it. We've lived together for quite a long time. We've been together for even longer. Okay. Where was that in our house? Why do we have that?
I've had this for 8 years.
But why? Why do you have...
It was my wheelchair ornament. It was very cheap.
And it stopped making a noise, so you stitched it.
Yeah.
Where are you keeping...
I did a good job.
How much of this stupid stuff do we have in the house?
Boxes.
Where, though?
I had a penis, too.
Oh, the internet's going to make a joke on that. Diesel, you don't want that. Well, you might want that. Can we get serious and do the video now?
Oh, he doesn't even want it. Go get
Run,
it.
Diesel, run. Okay, see ya. Well, at least we finally have a use for random stuff we have. Here, you take the camera. Let's take a look at this stuff. So this is the DeWalt box that we got.
That Kyle got.
It's on.
We have a $200 tent over there too that I don't know what we're gonna use for.
But yeah, anyway. So it's just like a handle unit. It's pretty cool. On wheels.
I'm pretty cool.
We can throw it in the trailer or truck or whatever, and then all of our event stuff can go in there. We have a lot of events with RCATV that are gonna be, weekends long, or we're gonna camp out or whatever. So we wanted to have some backup stuff in case, like the simple stuff, like we already have plugs and compressor and stuff to fill air and tires and whatever. But if we break an axle, if we blow a belt, whatever, we want to have some of this stuff with us. So I thought this would be a pretty cool way to do it. So it's kind of modular. So you can just add as many of these as you want, and they're just little toolboxes. But the main compartment opens up. There's a million different ways you can do this box. I'm not selling DeWalt. I just happen to have a lot of DeWalt stuff. What are you laughing at?
There's a million different ways you can do my box. I'm trying to hold back. I really have. Don't just disregard my face at all times.
I can't. All I hear is you giggling. God. So here it is. Inside it's really simple. I have some power tools, so I brought a charger and a battery, an inverter if need be, some electrical, some zip ties, electrical tape, flashlight, little magnet tray so you don't lose everything. And because I ride a Can-Am, I have, this was the original Outlander belt that was on my bike, and it's a little glazed over, but it's a bush belt. It'll get you home if need be. Right now in my bike I have the Maverick belt, so that one there has lasted the longest, and I'm pretty hard on it, and so far it's pretty good. But Dirty Life got us a Gates belt, and I'm going to try that after this one blows.
Which it will.
Which it will. I don't even have a Yamaha belt in here because I'm not worried about it.
My dealer sells less belts than you have in this box per year.
A year, yeah. It's true. So I'm not overly worried about the Kodiak.
Team Yummy!
So as far as fluids, like what you would need is obviously different for every bike, but I bring a little bit of coolant. I don't have everything in here, but I have some like diff fluids and maybe an oil change if we're doing like a drag race or a mud event or whatever. But in there I got some shop towel and glow sticks and hammers and wrenches and some WD-40 and brake clean, things like that. And just like one tool that you're gonna need basically for the big stuff. But I mean, it really is that simple. Yeah, so the next one is this little bin here. I wanted something a little smaller, just for little stuff. Come on in, camera lady. So I just brought a bunch of 3/8 drive sockets. Obviously, I only have to worry about metric, so all 3 of these bikes actually, so that's all good. Got a primary puller and a secondary expansion bolt, some dielectric grease and batteries for flashlights, spare couple relays and switches, connectors, everything you'll need for just in case scenarios. Some Allen keys, the little pliers there to pull out those plastic pop tabs, some electrical stuff. I mean, these are all pretty generic tools, but it's stuff to consider. I tried to imagine basically, like, I've worked on the bike several times, and some of the things that you can fix on the trail is what I imagined fixing and what tools I would need to do that. It doesn't have to be anything incredibly fancy, but I tried to pack as much comfort tools in here as possible, but this is all of my spare stuff out of my other toolbox. So once I imagined what might need to be fixed on a ride, I basically put those tools in here, and over time I'm sure it's going to evolve, but some things that happen are like you blow a belt. So you need to, on the Can-Am for example, you blow a belt, you have to pull the cover off, and that requires so many tools, and then you need your expansion, and then you need another belt and whatever, and something to clean off possibly the actual primary and secondary maybe. So like you got to imagine that process and then put those tools in here to be able to do it. Another thing that might happen is you blow an axle and you might have to pull the axle out. You can still ride home, but you have to, some scenarios you have to pull the axle out, so that's another thing you have to imagine. You know, fuses, maybe a relay, like Scott's bike Minion here, it has a relay for the wiring harness to his light bar. If that blows or fuse blows or whatever, and I can diagnose some of that stuff. I have a meter in there too, so.
My battery's been acting up, probably throw a power pack in there.
Yeah, power pack. We actually got that over here. This is something we bring along. So this guy's great, and it holds a charge for basically ever, but this guy here we would bring, we have 2 of those. We keep some in the trucks, and we have this one here. Maybe even a little grease gun, because if you're doing a 3-day event and on the first day you go through water, like ideally you would grease all of your fittings again so you can go out the next day and get into water again. So like these are all the things that you have to keep in mind over time as you repair your bike that you might want to put in the case. So that's basically the idea behind this, and when I posted about it you guys wanted to see it, so I figure why not.
Do you have anything in these?
No, but they do. This is where you can put like fuses and stuff like that, but I just have boxes and boxes of little fuses in here.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So there's basically everything in here. Everything that we might need. I also have like a little bags of plastic plugs that are littered all over these bikes. Spare studs, for example, I have in here because I blow studs all the time. Like I even have studs for the spacers that are different. I have a rear spacer or a rear stud that's different. Front studs are different, so I have a couple of each of those that I bought. Yeah, it's just, there's lots and lots of little things you need to consider if you own a Can-Am and you're hard on it. So Cass's bike, basically, I would just bring
Fuel.
If you have a custom rad relocate, something that happens is sometimes it can produce leaks just because of the nature of how everything's routed and stuff like that. So for Cass's bike, I would definitely bring some extra coolant, which is actually different than the coolant that goes into the Can-Ams. And there is a difference there. So like I would have to bring some of that. I would bring up some top up oil, and for her, I would definitely bring diff fluids too, because you never know.
Toilet paper.
Yeah, toilet paper is always in our bikes. So we're just trying to cover all the bases of, you know, if you get a flat, if you blow an axle, if you blow a belt.
Do we have a patch kit?
Grease. Yeah, I have one in my bike. So something that I always carry in my bike is I got a Tug Rope, which kind of doesn't make sense because I have the tiger tail now.
But we've lent it out too,
Yeah, but
so we don't have to pull.
yeah, so I've got that in there, and that's worth the 12,000 pound shock load. That's the air compressor that hooks up to 12 volt, which is great. I kept it in the box just because it was rattling around, and this is my ARB plug kit, so I can plug tires on the go. I also have a pretty heavy duty ratchet strap in there in case you have to ratchet strap a tire and try to get a bead and funny stuff like that. And like I said, this is what I came up with just off the top of my head, and I'm sure after a couple of events and what we're doing, I'll eventually add more stuff to it. The things you don't see here again are fluids. That's going to change for everybody. It's even changed between my bike at 2018 and the 2019. Like some of the diff fluids are different now, so you'll have to come up with a list of that kind of stuff and just have that on hand in case you have to top up or change it. Seals start leaking, you let water in your diffs. Like, there's a lot of scenarios, but I just want to be as ready as possible on site so that I don't have to go home on a Friday night and miss out on Saturday, Sunday of that ride or something like that. So that was the big idea behind this, and you guys wanted to see it, so I hope that really works out for you guys. Just to give you an idea of what I brought. If you have more questions about it, I mean, I can talk about every tool that's in here, but a lot of it's pretty generic. I just wanted to make sure that the tasks that happen can be handled.
If there's anything you think we missed, go ahead, add that down there.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what do you guys bring? Let me know what you have, and maybe that'll help me out, flesh this out before I actually realize that I didn't bring something for a certain scenario.
Yeah.
That would really suck. Like a jack, for example, somebody did bring that up on Facebook, and we have them in all of our vehicles already, and my trailer actually has one too. That's more than capable enough of doing that. You can also winch up a tree, for example, or find a log and a couple buddies and just jam it underneath, and you'll be able to pull tires off and do your thing. So yeah, that's basically it. I try to be ready for stuff like that. And you're going to see this thing when we were going to do events with RCATV, our ATV club, and they're weekend long, and there's some big stuff. It also helps that I can help my buddies out if they break down or whatever. It's a nice communal box for the club or whatever when we're out at a ride, and it's good stuff.
Thanks for watching.